Good evening and welcome back to another edition of the pint-sized preview. Plenty to get through this week, including the draw last week against Lincoln. We've got plenty of transfer talk to come as well, ins and outs, and as well we'll of course preview the upcoming trip to Port Vale. We've also got the forfeit from last week, courtesy of James, and we've got a brand new segment with the worst take of the week across Chairboy's social media. Let's bring tonight's guests in then one by one. We'll start with you, DJ. Evening, mate.
Good evening. How are you, mate?
I'm not so bad, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad myself. Back in Liverpool, which is sad because I can't really make it too many Wigan matches anymore, but I've been watching them all online, which is nice at least.
I was going to say, it kind of works out for you, I guess, with the online viewing, because it means you can get the goals out there online and get some decent impressions on your tweets.
Yeah, like I think Kone's goal got something mental like 260,000 impressions or something ridiculous like that. Obviously, we were all very excited about Kone, and actually that was shared across the leagues because he had a lot of people excited about Kone joining us. But it is nice, but also it's you see a lot of different things viewing online than you do at a match. I think it's almost easier to be more objective when you see it on the screen rather than watching it at a match.
I was going to say, you sort of get the privilege of watching everything back a few times before going mental on Twitter.
Yeah.
Whereas us in the stadiums, we view it once and we're berating the referees weekly.
Yeah.
Have you got a drink tonight, mate?
Yeah, so I've got this Healy double pale ale, I think. It's some sort of pale ale and made in Ireland, which is nice. And then I've got the forfeit concoction. So I don't have any milk. So this is soy sauce, Jägermeister, and tropical juice, which sounds brilliant to me.
I think you've drawn the short straw without having any milk. I'm not sure how you've done it to yourself.
I don't drink milk. That's the thing. Like, I don't have porridge, don't have cereal, I don't drink milk with my tea or coffee, so I don't really need milk. Just don't use it. So I've had to just scrounge through the fridge and see what I could find, and that's basically what I could find.
I was going to say, better you than me, I think.
Yeah.
Let's bring in the next person then. Jaden, evening, mate.
Evening, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad, buddy. How about you?
Yeah, very good. Looking forward to tonight. Thursday night, best night of the week.
You've got no, you haven't got a beer there in front of you, have you? You've got something slightly different this week.
I've been making my own homemade baby Guinnesses. So I've caught my mic with my hand. There we go. Pour it off the back of the spoon. Lovely jubbly. I'm going to be shooting 2 of them tonight. I actually have got a Guinness as well, just in case everything goes to ropes with the forfeit drink. Oh, God.
Yeah, do you want to show us your forfeit drink?
So my forfeit drink, in the half an hour that we've been here talking before we started, it's just curdled massively. It's salad, cream and milk. So I'm really, really looking forward to chugging this tonight for James. Thank you, mate. Love you lots.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because this is the last time we let James get in the predictions because he went boring with a 1-1 draw and got it bang on. Couldn't believe it.
In the most frustrating circumstance as well.
I know.
Absolutely. We'll get onto that in a moment. Let's bring Aaron in, who's been waiting in the wings, falling asleep over there. Evening, mate.
Evening, boys. You all right?
Not bad, mate. Managed to escape the M25 then just in time.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to make it. I was meant to be back at 6:30 and sat there at like 7 thinking not a chance, but just about in time. Managed to grab a beer and jump on just in time to join you boys.
Did you manage to put together a forfeit drink as well?
I did. I've also got no milk, so I've gone. I thought it had to be alcoholic if you didn't have milk, so I've got vodka, soy sauce, and a cherry. Fuck knows why I put the cherry in that.
Yeah. Let's get some live comments then as well on who do you think is the worst. I'm going to go for Jaden's just because of the colour of it. It just looks rank.
Yeah, just because it's been sat there.
It looks
it's warm, curdled.
It just looks grim. Like, mine's a bit of a shit colour, but I'm hoping the juice is enough to overpower it.
Yeah, yours hasn't been sat there curdling for half hour, has it?
You're going to have to get a spoon out just to scoop it out.
Oh, God, you're going to make me throw up in a minute.
Oh.
Do that and then a baby Guinness straight after.
Yeah, shot and chaser. Actually, that's what I'm going to do with my pale ale.
I'll just go. I'll go like this.
Oh no, it's spilled everywhere. What the fuck? Why is it fizzing?
Guinness in it.
It just spilled everywhere.
No. Pour the baby Guinness in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
put the baby
God.
Guinness in it. Give it a mix.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Adding
fire.
forfeits onto the forfeit here, aren't we?
Mm. My
Are we-
dad watches it. He's going to be so disappointed.
Oh my god,
I'm having
that's.
some work watching this.
Right. Bottoms up then, boys.
Oh
we do.
god, we have to chug
Let's get it
these.
over and done with.
Oh god.
Thank you very much, James.
Oh fuck, that's horrible.
Oh, I'm just getting like soy sauce and Jaeger. Oh.
Oh. Oh my god, I can taste the lumps. It's like porridge if porridge was fucking
Oh.
shit. Oh my god.
Ah, I can't
Cheers,
imagine
fellas.
how bad yours was, Jane. I got a lump in mine, and that was enough for me.
Oh, that's soy
Oh, there's
sauce.
lumps in the baby Guinness as well. What the fuck?
That's why you don't pour them in advance.
It's curdled. I'm doing the
Get another 1-8. Oh, you're just gonna do it anyway. Fair enough. Oh,
Oh.
where's that pale fucking ale? Jesus Christ.
That was miserable.
Oh,
That has to be one of the most grim things I've ever done.
I feel like we've got to up it each week now.
No. Milky beans next week.
I was saying to
No.
Jaden before we started recording, when we had the forfeit idea, I'd assume we'd all have like silly hats or something or names on the screen. I didn't think we'd mix milk with fucking condiments.
I think
Number
we
one.
like do a shot or something.
That's what I was
Like a
expecting.
normal one.
Or put something funny
least
in the
make it
green
enjoyable.
screen. Not milk. Oh dear. Oh, that's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Thanks,
Got
James.
sweet taste of cherry afterwards.
I got the sweet taste of
Oh,
lumps.
we're now going to get moderated for that. Oh, dear me. Right, let's move quickly on from that then, because I don't want to think about whatever that is down there. The second newest segment then is the worst take of the week. As we know, Wickham Twitter can be a cesspit at the best of times, but we've actually had some real good ones this week, haven't we? We've had Tom tonight with a few late entries.
Oh,
What's the best
What?
one? Killian Phillips is
Phillips
better than Roy Keane. I mean,
Just
I
fact.
assume he's had a Guinness or two as well. Tom, let us know what you're drinking tonight.
Petrol.
Jaden, you had a run-in with someone else regarding your hashtag tweet.
Yes, I did. That's definitely an honourable mention, I think. I've heard that you blocked them a long time ago, so yeah, no, apparently I'm not allowed to tweet or talk about Wickham because I never played for the club, so Jolo Torres no more. Sorry, everyone.
Hi, Billy.
Fuck up, Billy. Sorry.
Have you seen any good ones this week, DJ?
not that I can think of off the top of my head, to be honest with you. I kind of forgot we were doing this because I didn't realise I'd be able to do this until tonight. And I just about got the drink forfeit, so I didn't really have a look at any takes in a week. I think the worst take I've seen outside of that is Man United fans saying that they're worse off than Reading. Because I saw somebody goes, oh, what was it? So the Reading fans obviously did their pitch invasion. And a United fan goes, oh, we should do this. Our owners are surely worse than theirs. And I was just like, no.
I mean, what are Reading a month or so out from going out of business completely?
But Man United will spend 100 million this transfer window, and that'll be bad. It's ridiculous. It actually makes me sick.
Right, let's waste no time then in getting the actual worst take of the week on screen for you. We've got a fancy graphic as well to go with it to give it the glory it deserves.
Ooh.
Do we get
We're
a
going
drum
with
roll?
this one. It's on screen in its not so much glory, really, is it? Yes, Richard Kone, the Wickham footballer, does have a child. I mean, I love a conspiracy theory. I'll be the first to admit that. But
How do we know he's got a child? Like, obviously, he had the kid when he was announced, but how do they know it's his child?
That might be his sister.
Well, yeah,
Because
well,
I remember reading he made up with his family in Nigeria. So,
Yeah,
no,
he did.
Ivory Coast. He made up with his family, so it could just be his nephew or
Yeah.
I mean, it's
By
in
step-
quotation marks. Where does that quote come from? That's what I don't understand. I mean, the whole thing is a quote, isn't it?
Specifically a young daughter.
It's been deleted now, I believe, and rightfully so. But I think it goes without saying that personal life of footballers does not matter to us. It's none of our business. They can live their lives exactly however they want. We're just there to support them and watch them play football. It's got nothing to do with us. And old John shouldn't be poking his nose where it's not welcome, really.
I mean, it's quite a I've just said I like a conspiracy theory. It's quite a statement to suggest that he would lie about his sexuality just to get into the country. I mean,
it's an incredible
even for Wickham Twitter, it's quite good, isn't it?
Mm.
Or Wickham Facebook, which we've come to associate with that kind of thing.
Jesus.
I mean, for next week, I'm sure we'll get some more now on purpose, but we will keep an eye out. It's very similar to the Didn't Happen at the Year Awards, isn't it? We're just on the hunt for the worst tweet or Facebook post of the week. If you spot any, send them my way, and we will review them in the group chat in time for next week.
Come on, Billy, give us some bangers.
Right, let's have a chat about the football then, because it was sort of one of those games that we've seen all too often this season, DJ. Wickham, for the most part, controlled the game until it came to the very final moments, and we've let it go once again.
It's really frustrating because you can see we were putting pressure on them from the front. Even with Vokes up front, we were putting pressure. We weren't allowing them to dominate possession in our half. And as soon as we go to that 5-back, we invite pressure onto us. We invite them to step forward. We invite them to come forward and try and attack us. And they're going to get one eventually if we keep letting them attack. And we just allowed them to. I was surprised when Coney and Phillips went on, we didn't try and push back up the field because we had really good, quick lads there who could put defenders under pressure. But we still sat back and essentially we just hoofed it long, hoping that Phillips or Coney could perform some sort of miracle and get past their man in a one-on-one. It was very frustrating because just a little bit of help, just a few men forward providing pressure, and we could have took a little bit of that defensive pressure away from us because we were just constantly defending, constantly putting bodies in line. And as much as you do that, eventually you're going to concede, and we did, which is really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, we've mentioned not for the first time, Aaron, this season, we've conceded very late. It seems from his post-match comments that the only person who can't see why this is happening is the manager.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he can't see it, to be honest. Like, we can all see it, and everyone in that stadium can see it. I'm not sure what he's watching to miss it, or what he's thinking with the changes kind of leading up to that. It is a bit worrying that we keep conceding winners or equalisers. We used to be a team that scored kind of injury time goals, or were able to bring it back from like 3-1 down, and now we look like a team that 2-0 up in the 85th minute. You think, are we actually going to hold on it?
I mean, it's obviously not a one-off, Jaden. It seems to be a trend in games this season. When we switch to the 5-back late on, we get bombarded. You know, considering we've been so good with a 4 at the back in games recently, regardless, it just seems a very weird tactic to want to close up shop with a 5 at the back when we're quite comfortable with just 4.
Yeah, no, it totally baffles me, honestly, because, you know, the old adage is the best form of defence is attack. If we're keeping players forward rather than bringing them all behind the ball, we're going to get chances. We're going to, you know, have the chances to go maybe add on our leads, go 2-0 up or something, and just relieve a little bit of pressure on the back line. Because on Saturday, you could see it was coming for about 20 minutes already, couldn't you? You knew Lincoln were going to get a goal eventually. And I just don't see why he piled all the men behind the ball, because, like, there's no point messing around with your defence when it's comfortable. Joe and Taff were totally fine at the back. You know, the fullbacks were doing their job as well. I thought Grimmer had a really good game at right back. Just leave it how it is. There's no need. Just bring on like-for-like subs. And I think that's where, obviously, we'll get onto the topic of the January transfer window, but I think that's where we're lacking a little bit, because we haven't really got many like-for-like attacking subs, have we? So hopefully, with the players that we're looking to bring in, in January, we will actually we'll be able to maybe retain the back 4 later into a game rather than shutting up shop and bringing on the likes of Farino and Vincent Young again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, DJ, that was the sort of the negative aspect of the game, and sort of the moment that everyone's going to remember coming away from it. But actually, in the first half, and for moments in the second half, plenty of positives from a Wycombe point of view.
No, it was a game of two halves, and once Vokes went off, it was that sort of final 25 minutes where we just conceded. But we looked really, really good beforehand. I thought the movement was very good. I thought the passing was good. It's still just, I think our problem isn't necessarily controlling games. It's putting them to bed and finishing it. We should have and could have been 2 or 3 up. And we're never getting to that stage. We're always scoring one, being fairly comfortable to the 60th or 70th minute, putting some defenders in to try and defend the lead and losing it. And we just need to get a bit more clinical in front of the goal. Does that mean we need a new striker in the market? Does that mean we need Gideon Kadua to start playing more? Do we need... Obviously, it's going to be different now with Scowen. I believe he's back after the next match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Which means it's been different because I don't know if you've noticed, when Scowen and Potts play, Scowen drops deeper, allowing Potts to go forward. When Potts and Wheeler play, Potts goes deeper to allow Wheeler to go forward. And what Wheeler offers potentially in the air, he doesn't offer in terms of Freddie Potts passing, his ability to find players. And we need Potts going forward to do that. We need Potts finding Sads or GMAC or Kone or Kadua or whoever it is. So I think we'll start to potentially score more when it's Scowen and Potts again. They start playing those two together again. We need to see more from Sads, I think. He's been industrious. He's put in a lot of work in, but I still don't think he's got a goal and an assist yet, apart from the EFL, was it? The EFL trophy got on his goal, was it?
He got a goal against Port Vale.
Goal against Wimbledon in the EFL trophy. I think he got a few assists against Fulham's under 21s as well.
But we're not seeing that in the league. The most we've really seen of him in the league is cuts inside, 20 yards out. And yeah, you might get one of those every 5 or 6 games, but we need the actions and the assists that we're going to get every game or second game. Which is why maybe a winger potentially coming and be very good. I do think at the moment we're a bit stifled because we are lacking options up front. We've talked about how we've got Kone in, how we've got Gideon in, how we're trying to get Uche in, which I presume we'll talk about later. But we're still very much, Vokes are starting, GMAC on the right, Sads on the left, and you can put Wheeler there, you can put Kone there, you can put Gideon there, that's about it. We need more actual attacking substitutes. Mm-hmm. Because they get tired, and the only substitute you can really make are defensive ones, unless you're putting Kane Vincent-Young as a winger, which you could argue we could do, but he's not. He's a attacking fullback rather than a winger.
I mean, we seem quite settled, don't we, Alan, on the 4-4-2 formation now. But for it to be really effective, you've got to have end product from your wingers. And at the moment, Wycombe just aren't really getting that, whether it be goals or assists.
Yeah, obviously the new lad from West Ham Kadua is potentially a fresher option on that sort of position. I think we probably still need a bit like DJs. I think we still need someone else in there. We've not seen the best of Sadly, like we said. McCleary's not maybe hit the heights that we've kind of seen over the past few years. So yeah, potentially another option in that kind of position. Yeah, I don't really know what it is because we used to use our wingers and now we don't seem to use them as much. We seem to just bypass them sometimes in games as well, which I don't know if that's kind of the tactics they're told to deploy or if it's just we resort to panicking and missing bits out.
Mm-hmm. Let's touch on a few individual performers then. I'm going to come to you, Jaden, with a name that you're going to love talking about. Dale Taylor with a goal on Saturday. He's found a little bit of form playing ever so slightly deeper. Just talk to us about his sort of last few games, if you can.
Yeah, well, obviously you'll know I've been quite critical of Dale Taylor, some of his performances recently. But no, after he got that goal on Saturday, I thought he played really, really well. He linked up the play quite nicely, had a few shots here and there. And, I've always described Dale as sort of like a nearly player. He has the right idea, but he barely ever executes it. But on Saturday, after he got the goal, it seemed his confidence seemed to go up quite a bit, and he was executing the right things. He was making runs, playing well off Vokes, and those two have formed quite a good partnership by the looks of it. So it's encouraging signs for Dale. But yeah, he'll be delighted to get a goal. It'd been a while. I think it was Fleetwood away last time he scored in the league, so fair few months. But yeah, it's it's good to see. We definitely need him to perform a lot more going into the second half of the season. Need him to bag a few more goals because that is where we're lacking, being clinical. We have the chances but don't take them. So yeah, it's crucial that Dale kicks on from that performance now and carries it into this Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Let's have a chat about the man of the match and Jack Grimmer.
Did he cut out?
I didn't get some of that.
Yeah, he has for me.
Yeah, you're cutting out, mate. You're starting to go into robot mode slightly.
Looking good. On Wi-Fi.
I heard Wi-Fi. I think it's getting slightly better.
Yeah. I only got Wi-Fi out of that.
I mean, it's better than the original statement, which was
Wi-Fi.
What? Yeah, literally.
Getting better.
So okay, like Jack Grimmer was very, very good. I think that's what he's gonna. He's gone.
I'm assuming it was
no,
he's in
we
man of the
lost
match.
Yeah, he was about to talk about Jack Grimmer. So should we talk about Jack Grimmer? Like,
we kind of
DJ,
said
tell us
that we
about
thought
Jack
it was
Grimmer.
man of the match.
didn't somebody refer him like as Prime Cafu in that match?
That was me.
Yeah.
And James Richards nabbed it.
Yeah, that was. But he was so good. Phil points out he does this new move now where he kicks it inside the player and just goes around him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he had that speed, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
Like, he did really, really well. I think he's unlucky not to maybe get an assist. When he got the assist for Dale, did he?
No, Vokes did. He
No,
crossed it in.
yeah,
Vokes
that's
nodded
it,
it
yeah.
down into Taylor. So he got the assist of the assist.
Yeah.
With being technical.
Like, he did really, really well. So SofaScore says that Sam Vokes was the highest rated with an 8.2. That's who they reckon is man of the match.
Mm.
He made 84% of his passes accurately. 1 key pass, 2 crosses made successfully, 3 long balls made successfully.
Yeah.
Won all of his aerial duels. Like, but that's where we've been talking about it recently, I think. He's starting to get back into fitness. It's been frustratingly long. He's actually he's been. Oh, have we got somebody?
Is he back?
Hey!
I'm not sure what happened. I had Wi-Fi the whole way throughout. I'm not sure if it was my end or StreamYard's end, but seeing as you lot stayed in it, it must be my end.
Yeah, we were just seeing it live. We talked about
something, doesn't it?
Yeah, we talked about Jack Grimmer, so I think that's where you were going.
That is where I was going. Yeah, spot on.
So we talked about Jack, and we were talking about Vokes as well. Vokes is starting to look actually fit for the first time this year, and you can see it's really making a difference to how he's playing.
I guess just to add into this conversation, and it doesn't just impact Vokes positively, does it? It sort of everyone around him seems to play better when he's on it as well. We've mentioned the wingers not having too much end product, but actually they can just swing crosses into the box, and if Vokes is in form, then he's going to do the rest.
Yeah, and especially when you have Grimmer in this form, and you know Luke's got a great left foot in him.
Mm-hmm.
If you have Vokes who's actually able to battle like he was a couple of years ago, you're looking at 5, 6, 7 goals towards the end of the season. You'll have to hope. We've still got a lot of games, and we've got the Bristol Papa John's Trophy EFL thing, whatever it's fucking called. Like, and I don't say this to but if you're putting Sam Vokes up against an 18-year-old, you want Sam Vokes to win the ball 9 times out of 10 in the year. You want him to bully those children.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
EJ.
Help himself, can he?
But you know what I mean? Not as steal their money. Don't push them into a locker and steal their money, or don't call them a slur or something. But you know what I mean? Just in the air. You know what I meant?
You didn't have to say children, mate.
Oh, dear. Let Sam Vokes bully the children. I mean, it's the first time I've ever had anyone refer to professional footballers as children, regardless of what age they're playing at. Just waits for him outside the team bus. Give me an Anthony.
Pins them up against the doors.
You bully them kids, Sam. Go on.
But you know what I mean. You do know what I mean, right?
Yes, we know what you mean, but not kids, just professional footballers.
Because their children is an interesting use of the word.
Children.
You're making a good point though, DJ. Carry on. Carry on.
I don't know how to carry it on. But do you know what I mean? If you're putting them up against an 18-year-old professional footballer who's maybe not experienced senior football.
Less experience, yeah.
Yeah, compared to a 35-year-old Sammy Vokes who's played in the Euros alongside Gareth Bale, who he is not better than, but has played alongside. You know, you feel like you're going to get a goal or two out of him if you're doing that sort of thing. Obviously, if we get through after that, we're going up against like fucking Peterborough or Bolton or whoever's left. I can't remember exactly. But then that just sort of goes back into, well, we just play a fucking football match. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
I mean, I did want to touch on the Bristol Street Motors just before we get into the transfer talk. Because whilst we have been sort of taking the competition quite seriously, Aaron, this is the stage now where you've got to be really playing your best 11 if we want that trip to Wembley.
It is, yeah. But I think there's also room for maybe some of the ones that have impressed over the previous games to potentially keep their spots. You would imagine mostly it'll be first team now, or the usual kind of starting 11 if we want to progress. Maybe not necessarily the next game, but definitely if we go on from there, if we're playing the likes of Peterborough, you've got to be starting like Max in goal and Vokes and that if you want to go and beat them. But yeah, it's been an opportunity for people to impress, and I think there's one or two that have kind of taken that and deserve probably to keep their positions in that competition over the next couple of games if we get there.
Yeah. Like, you have to imagine it'll be a great opportunity for Gideon and Kone to potentially stake a claim.
Kone's got to have some involvement in the next game, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he can't because he played for West Ham.
Yeah, he can't.
But Kone definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he did. No, like Kone, I thought he looked okay when he came on against Lincoln. He just didn't really have much to work with, did he?
Not really.
They just hoofed the ball long, and you're not going to get those, are you? If you're going up against senior centre backs who are going to bully him. Sorry.
Am I right in saying that Wigan got knocked out the other night to Doncaster?
I think so. Yeah.
So I think actually the tournament tree, as it is now looking quite promising in our favour. Obviously, it's still got Bolton in the north and Peterborough down south with us. Although I think Peterborough are still yet to play, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
depending on which way that goes.
But I think for the semi-finals, it opens up to all teams now, so it doesn't have to be we play a southern team now. I think.
Okay.
So I think we could play Bolton. I think so.
Because I remember when we got to the semi-finals in the first year, we drew Blackpool in the round of 16 or something, didn't we? But now, obviously, that round is still seeded north and south. So I'm not sure where the divide ends at the moment.
I think it's semi-finals. I think it's semi-finals. Well, I would have said that for the quarterfinals, so I'm not sure.
So it used to have an area final, didn't you? And then north and south. And then the winners of those go into the final Wembley. I'm not sure quite how they do it this year.
No clue.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Well, let's move on to transfer talk then, because there's actually quite a few things that have happened this week. Obviously, we touched on Gideon last week, didn't we, Aaron? Obviously, that move has now been made official, let's say. There's still not much we can say about him, but it should be an exciting signing and one that just adds a little bit of depth.
Yeah, he's obviously we touched on kind of what we saw in that game against us last week. There's probably not too much more to say at this point. I don't think many of us until that game have probably seen him. Hopefully we'll get to see a bit of him over the next few weeks and kind of hopefully he can impress like he did. So I think he impressed in that game. He was probably their standout player. So hopefully if he can bring that to us, then yeah, we've got a good player in our hands.
Jaden Bloom's mentioned a few Premier League loans coming in again this month. We've already seen two, including Kem Campbell back on loan. A few question marks when you look at the signing, but on paper, it makes a bit of sense the more you sort of look into it.
Yeah, I think. Well, I was always happy that he was going to come back. If I'm honest, as soon as I saw it, because I think what DJ said earlier in the week is spot on. Really, he obviously we had Mehmeti first half of that season last season. He had the impossible task of recreating what Mehmeti had achieved, and I don't think you could bring in anyone who was going to do that realistically. So it's another option somewhere where we are light on the wings. I think sadly he's had his problems. He's been dragged off in the 75th minute like recently, which is a bit weird. I don't know whether that's to do with fitness or tactical, but hopefully instead of bringing on like Kane Vincent Young or something, we can bring on Chem or something, or maybe Chem starts. I don't know, but yeah, it's I know there was a few question marks from Wickham fans whether he was really that good while he was here. I think he'd done the job. He looked a little bit scared to take people on, if I'm honest, but sure, he's had another year since he's been with us near enough. He'll have learned at Charlton, did fairly well at Charlton, 2 goals, 2 assists, which isn't bad at all. And off the back of 3 goals in 17 for us previously, he'll be open to add to that. And it's nice to see that, he does have a little bit of end product as a winger, because that's something we're lacking at the minute.
Mm-hmm. We've mentioned 2 of the January arrivals. I'm going to run the risk of taking this recording over 3 hours in length because I'm going to give DJ the chance to talk about Richard Kone for a moment. DJ, we've spoken about Kone in the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks quite a lot. But obviously, you've not been here with us. You've waxed lyrical about him since the summer. I mean, just sum it up. A, how pleased you that he's now a Wickham player officially, and what do you want to see from him? I mean, take as much time as you need.
So I am absolutely pleased as punch. So as a lot of you know, I'm not sure if anybody on Twitter will know, I am bisexual. So I am LGBT. So for me, having that representation, not only within football, but in our own team, means the world to me. I was talking to Chris about it, I believe, on the way back from Exeter, about these sort of things and how I would feel, but also how maybe fans would react. I know some fans would have and did react potentially not in the most positive of ways to it. But I saw that as well. But I'm still so happy it's happened. I mean, not even that as well. The fact that he was homeless, the fact he played in the Homeless World Cup, he's spent years trying to get a move. He was on trial at Premier League clubs. He was on trial at Colchester. And now he's finally got his chance with us. And we've been the ones to stick it through. That is...
For fuck's sake. Just reading the comment.
Oh dear. Have you seen it come up, Deej?
Yeah. But that's what I love about Wickham, the fact we give chances to players like Richard Kone, the fact we give chances to players like Chris Joseph. How many other clubs would have picked up Chris from Loughborough University and give him a chance to mature into the player he is today? I would say a pretty good League One centre-back and with potential to go higher. I know a lot of people were expecting me to want him to start every game. They were saying, oh, he's not... I would be happy with a couple of good cameos from him this year. I'm not expecting him to immediately go into the first team like Anis Mehmeti did. Mm-hmm. I think what we've seen from him in that game versus West Ham on the 21s was extremely, extremely exciting. I'd like to see him start again in the Brighton match. But I'm not expecting us to put him in instead of Dale Taylor, instead of Sadlier, instead of GMAC in the league. I'd be happy with him to get in for the last 20, 30 minutes of games to give him experience at the senior level, with maybe the view of having him be a squad rotation player next year. I don't think we have to rush it. Mm-hmm. Chris Joseph took a year to go from sort of development squad player to squad player, and now he's starting fairly regularly. 2 or 3 years later? Kone can do the same. I wouldn't even be surprised if next year we send him on loan to League Two or Ireland or Scotland, like we've seen Jack Young do, or we've seen other ex-chairboys do very well in Ireland. We saw Giles Phillips and who was the other one, Connor Parsons, do fantastically at Waterford. So I think I would not be against a loan for him in the summer next year. let him get experience playing regular first team football when we might not be able to offer it, and that would be best for his development. I'm delighted. I was so me and Annie went to the match, and I was kicking off. I was delighted, and she was like, "Oh, what are you so excited about?" And I was like, "Oh, the player signs." Like, "Oh, nice. So, what? Why are you so excited?" Because you've seen me with other players signed, and I've just been like, "Yeah, that's great, brilliant." Richard Cunny is he means so much to me, and I'm just happy he's here getting the chance. I don't expect or demand that he will take the opportunity. I don't expect or demand that he will immediately come in the first team. I'm just glad he got the chance. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but I'm just happy he got that chance in the first place.
You mentioned the fact that he's obviously a member of the LGBT community and how important that is to you personally. I guess following on from our worst take of the week, how disappointing is it that someone could question his integrity like that, and question the fact that he would make that up in order to aid his career?
It's very disappointing, especially he might be bisexual. That's the thing. That could be his child, and he could be bisexual, but that doesn't make him any less LGBT. I'm bisexual. I'm in a straight relationship. Does that not mean I'm LGBT? If I went to a different country and said, I'm gay or I'm bisexual. At the end of the day, that interview was in 2017. Who here knew exactly what they were at 17? Mm-hmm. I didn't even realize I was bisexual at 2017. And honestly, it's very, very common for people to believe they're gay before realizing they're bisexual or coming to terms with the fact they like both genders, because it can be very, very confusing. It hurt. It did hurt. Whenever I was talking to Chris about it, I did say to him, I think it hurt him a little bit. I was like, I've accepted there'll be negative comments. I've accepted there'll be people who won't support it, who'll say pretty horrible things. And sadly, you have to accept that. I played sports for a long, long time, and you just sadly get used to it. I'm hoping Kone provides Wickham with the opportunity to educate people, to show people that it's okay, but also sets the standard and the example that he shouldn't be the first. Richard Kone should not be the first. We've obviously had, Jake Daniels, but I don't believe he's made a league appearance yet. Kone's made a league appearance. Mm-hmm. There will be people other than me looking at that going, that's fantastic. I've had people from across the country who said, I am, and seeing Richard Kone play for you is really, really good. And that's delighted me. That's the impact that people don't necessarily anticipate or expect. Mm-hmm. But again, I do feel bad for him as well, because it's a lot of pressure put on him. So I don't try and bring it up too much. I actually don't, because it's a lot of pressure. Because you don't say, but in a way you are saying to him under the table, not even, do you know what I mean? You are the representative of LGBT people in football at the moment. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of pressure for a young man who's playing professional football for the first time, who's moved countries, who's now getting a new level of expectation, but also criticism. Things talked about. It's a lot of pressure to put on the young man. And it's very difficult, because you want to talk about it, but at the same time, you don't want to overburden him. Mm-hmm. So you have to walk a sort of line. I'd love to see the club do something, especially we've got Pride Month coming up. I'd love to see the club do something. I know, sadly, Wickham LGBT's not really been active recently. I'd love to try and get something with that going, but it means the world to not just me, but far more people than you can imagine, actually. But I try not to put too much pressure. I try not to speak about it too much, because it's a lot of pressure for Kone.
I just want to stick with you for a minute, DJ, just to sort of really kind of delve into the LGBTQ argument regarding Kone and everything like that. There's not been too much mainstream media attention, has there? No. On the whatever. It's been a little while since Jake Daniels came out at Blackpool. Do you think it's more a case of the media have missed the story, or is this just now seen as one of those things in football that is now treated as normal, whereas a few years ago it would have been headline news all around the world?
The different approaches between the clubs. Blackpool knew about it in advance, and they worked with Stonewall for, I believe, 3 months to get it media attention. So they worked quite hard to get that level of media attention. BBC, Sky, The Guardian, whoever it is. They work very hard to get that level of media attention. Whereas with Wickham, you saw with Killian Phillips, for example, they'll support it, but they won't necessarily publicise it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It wasn't in the papers when Killian Phillips didn't stand with the teammates for the anthem, was it?
Oxford, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't publicised, but Coed came out and said, look, we support our players. They had their own personal belief, that's fine. But that wasn't in the BBC, that wasn't in Sky News. That was just... I think it's that we don't publicise it necessarily. I don't think that's a good or a bad thing. It's just one of those things. Our club values the privacy. I think our club values the fact that it's their view, it's who they are, and if they want to publicise it, fair enough. If they don't, that's also fair enough. Killian didn't make any statements or come out with anything, I don't believe, like James McLean would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
James McLean would usually every year come out with a statement saying, I'm not wearing it because of XYZ that we picked up by whoever picked it up. Killian didn't, and fair enough to him. And Kone hasn't, and fair enough to him. I would like to see something happen for Pride Month, but it's on Kone. He's the player, he's the individual, he's the person. And if he wants it publicised, all power to him. If he just wants to live his life, all power to him. That's his choice. I think that's why we've gave him the choice, and maybe he just went, I don't want all that attention. I just want to play football, and I respect that. Not every person wants to end up being a spokesperson. I think the fact he's even playing is positive representation, even if it's not made a story out of.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, DJ. Sort of very good insight there, and sort of, I guess, the background of the topic as a whole, and sort of why it's important that Richard has come so far and is doing so well. So I guess Kone, Campbell, and Kadira wrap up the already signed players. Let's talk about a rumour which has emerged this morning, then, Aaron. It wouldn't be a transfer window without Wickham being linked to Ikpeazu. I mean, it's, we should be used to it by now, but every time it comes up, it's just a bit weird.
It does seem like it's every transfer window at the moment. To be honest, I'm not really sure why we're linked to him, because obviously it didn't work out for whatever reason in the summer. He's gone to Port Vale and done nothing at all.
He's got a goal and an assist. He's not done nothing.
So's Lyle Taylor at Cambridge. Is it?
Yeah, do you know what? Fair enough. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure why. There's obviously a reason it didn't work in the summer, and well, I guess we won't know what the reason is. But if it didn't work then, why are we going back for him? Especially when he's not exactly had great reviews up there. I don't think we'll get him, if I'm honest. I think it's just it's an easy rumour to make at this point, and that is, he's played for us. We've wanted him. He was probably pretty much in the door in the summer, and it just didn't happen. And now, anytime he's on the move, they're probably going to be like, "Oh, Wickham want him." Whether we do or not, who knows?
I mean, I guess, Jaden, the argument is sort of against the signing of him. We've already got, 4 out-and-out strikers, so many wingers in the club. How do you keep them all happy and sort of rotating them properly? It just seems like the position at Wickham don't need to strengthen anymore.
Yeah, it is sort of like that. I mean, we need someone a bit more prolific, maybe up front. Wickham and prolific doesn't really go in the same sentence, does it? So I don't know where we're going to find that. But yeah, it's going to be hard to keep everyone happy. Obviously, the Premier League teams like Chem, obviously, and Gideon will want them playing on a fairly consistent basis for their development. But obviously, we got to keep the likes of GMAC and Sads happy, because they're our players, and they will most likely be with us beyond next season, whereas the other two won't. So it's going to cause a real selection headache for Matt Bloomfield, really. And it's just, honestly, give them all a chance and just see who performs best, who works best in the system. That's the only way you can really deal with it at the minute, I suppose. I think there is room for maybe one more striker, but the wingers, certainly, I feel like he's going to have to rotate, give everyone equal playing field, equal chance, and whoever doesn't start will have to come off the bench and do a job and try and earn their place back, I suppose.
I mean, we all love Uche, obviously, DJ, don't we? And as much as we'd like to see him back in the quarters, maybe, just maybe, that ship has sailed now.
I was really excited when it first came up in, October, November period. It was around then. I was super excited. The thing is, we do have. I think we have 3 out-and-out strikers: Dale, Kone, and Vokes. Vokes is not going to get moved. Vokes is leave him in striker and don't touch him. Kadu is more of a centre attacking mid. I think he can also play in the wing if we really need. See, part of me does think if you put Uche up alongside Sam Vokes, you're going to get results. Because Vokes is good at what Uche isn't, and Uche is good at what Vokes isn't. Uche's quick, he's athletic, he's surprisingly fast for his size. What can he not really do? He can't really be the lone number 9. He can't really hold up the ball despite his size and strength, which is kind of bizarre when you think about it, isn't it? And part of me thinks the two would work out really well together. If you did Uche in the Dale Taylor role that we have now, sort of buzzing around, Vokes playing off him, I think that would work quite well, especially with Dale going to be leaving in the summer. At the same time, I do kind of feel like that ship has sailed. I think it was fun while it lasted in the championship. It's been fun to talk about every time it's came up, but I think we just need to wash our hands and be done with it. I don't like the fact every single season we're linked, but I don't like the fact that we seem to be an afterthought to Uche, because there's been a couple of times he has seemingly entered contract negotiations with the club and then went somewhere else. We seem to be almost a fallback net of, well, if it all goes to shit, I can go to Wickham. And I don't like that. I want somebody who wants to play for Wickham, who wants to work for the badge. So I don't really want Uche. If he joins, I won't be annoyed. If he joins, I'll not be like, ugh, but I wouldn't personally pick him now myself.
I think that's sort of enough on Uche then. I guess I'll sort of echo your thoughts. Whilst we'd love to see him in the quarters again, I think it would be an odd move on the surface, considering the last sort of 2 or 3 years. Let's talk about departures then very quickly and sort of rumoured departures. Aaron, one of the ones we knew about coming into this week, Harry Boyes has gone back. Unsurprising, but at the same time, he didn't really do anything wrong, did he? I think it's more to aid him rather than aid ourselves or maybe even Fleetwood.
Exactly that. I think he's probably been told that change of formation, he's possibly not starting every game, if many at all, in that formation, and they're not going to want him a lone player sitting somewhere on the bench, and we're not going to want to pay someone's wages on loan from the Premier League club just to sit there and do nothing. Kind of makes sense for all parties. But yeah, like you said, he didn't really do a lot wrong. He looked fairly decent at points. I thought just not what we're going with now, and wrong player, wrong time, maybe kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Another one, Jaden, who's left us, but maybe we didn't see coming, is Richard Keogh. Brought in as an experienced head, and he was that to the younger players. Got a little bit more game time than we all might have expected, but again, it's quite surprised to see him move on already.
Yeah, it was quite a strange one when I found out about it. I was a little bit shocked. I really didn't expect him to go so soon, and I think obviously means that Bloomfield's got more space in the squad to sign permanent players like we know he wants to do. But I honestly think I felt a little bit bad for Keogh. I thought that sometimes he was the scapegoat from fans, maybe just because he's a little bit older. People are like, I'll just blame Keogh. It's all his fault. But no, he's a good person to have in the dressing room. Obviously good experience. Nice to have him alongside the likes of Jolo and Farino, teaching them the trade of defending, because he's been around for God knows how long, applying his trade at the top level. So, yeah, he will be a little bit of a miss, I suppose, but it's nice to see that he's still got the ambition of playing at 37, because I believe, Bloomfield said he had the conversation with him that his playing time was going to be limited the second half of the season, so he wanted to go elsewhere. Fair enough, and good luck to him. It will be a miss, the character around the dressing room, and especially for the person who brought his shirt. But yeah,
that was such. I just saw that and I was like, oh no, man, I felt so bad for them.
I feel so bad.
Those shirts aren't cheap
anyway, isn't it? But for him to leave a week later, that's just shit luck, isn't it?
I get Keogh. To be fair, I was half tempted to get Keogh if he stayed, because obviously Irish he played 30-40 times for us, so I was like, Richard Keogh will be fun. I'm going with Kone now, but like a self-evident. But it's one of those shirts though that in 3, 4, 5 years you'll look back and go, oh yeah, Richard Keogh, remember him? And everybody will laugh about it. You know what I mean? So I think it has value in its way. But right now, I would be ripping if that was me as well.
I'd be fuming, but yeah.
But it is one of those shirts you wear that at Adams Park in a couple of years, and everybody would laugh about it. You know what I mean?
He's an EFL legend as well. Right?
He is. It's a fun name. It's just horrible timing.
It's horrible luck in a week before he departs, and nobody would know.
He is the modern day Adam Alamd, isn't he? In a few years' time, we'll look back at some of those moments and think, "Oh, that was a good time to be a Wickham fan." Just like when we had Adam Alamd. I remember when he pulled Kevin McGeehan's hair at Barnsley. Yeah, one of the many wonderful Adam Alamd moments. I'll ask you, Dijan, about one of the rumoured departures. It seems, all but certain that TJ DeBar is going to move on, whether that be on loan or permanent, with the amount of signings coming in. It's just not ever quite worked out for him. Whether, we can say he's unlucky by not getting a run of games, but he's never really taken it by the scruff of the neck and sort of got on with it, has he?
No, it's there was a period of a game or two. I think we were talking about this in the group chat earlier, Plymouth, for where he was hurt. I remember watching that online and going, okay, let's see this in a couple of games. His crossing was great. His feet was great. He had speed. And then we just never saw it again. He just didn't. And it's frustrating. He could end up being like Al-Hamadi, where a drop down, be it on loan or a transfer, could do him the world of good, regular game time. I'd be sad to see him go. I do like TJ. He's one of the players that I think has always put in a shift when he's been called upon. But I think it's right for him now to. We don't know whether it'll be a loan or permanent. We've not heard. We've not been any rumours about it. Al-Hamadi came out of nowhere, for example. I actually kind of hope it's a permanent deal. I think he's been here 3 years now.
Yeah.
You have to imagine if you've been at the club 3 years, you would have made your breakthrough by now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of injuries have happened. There's been a lot of different players, and he's not been able to get in front of. He's not been able to get in front of Kai. He's not been able to get in front of Ken Campbell. He's not been able to get in front of GMAC or Sads or any of those sort of players. So you've got to go at this point. It's been brilliant having you. We do wish you best of luck. Here's 30% of a sell-on clause. Go and get some money. Goodbye. Because there was a player there. I do think there's a player there. I just think it's time now for us to accept that he's not going to become that player here. Is George?
He's frozen again, yeah.
I thought he was looking awfully still there.
It's the look.
He looks mildly disgusted at me, doesn't he?
He's looking at DJ like, shut up.
Shut up, DJ.
He did ask me to the third. I was trying to.
Shall we continue with the TJ DeBar conversation while he's... Yeah.
Wait! There's another one, I think. I think Jack Young will go on a permanent as well.
I forgot we even had
the story of him. He's not really lived up to it, has he?
That was a really weird one.
But at Wheelstone, I swear to God, Jack Young looked like the second fucking reincarnation of Kevin De Bruyne. And and then he's just, obviously that's pre-season. It's very easy. Darryl Horgan looked good against fucking Wheelstone, so I think that says a lot. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jack Young go out in a permanent as well. Send him to whatever League Two or Vanarama National Club will have him for. Here's a couple of grand. Here's 30% sell-on clause. Good luck, Jack. See you later. Mm-hmm. He did okay at Ayr. He did okay. I don't remember where he was on loan. He did 8. He's been here 2.5 seasons now. I think it's 3 seasons now because he came in the winter, didn't he? On loan. Which strange transfer that. Him and Jack Wakely were strange transfers, but anyway. I think it's time for both TJ and Jack to head out the door for permanent game time. If we just slap them with a sell-on clause, get him somewhere that's going to give him regular game time, I think that's the best for both parties at this point. I think we've seen what can happen with Al-Hamadi. Not every player is going to establish themselves that quickly and get as high as value as Al-Hamadi, but if we let players go for cheap and give them big sell-on clauses, we're going to get money eventually, you know what I mean? So I think that's the right play with both of them. Be sad to see TJ go. Jack, I wish you the best. I don't I've seen you play once, I think. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm trying not to be rude, but I've seen him play once. He was pretty good, but he went straight on loan again, so I didn't really form any attachment to him. You know what I mean? He was a player we had, which is kind of sad. But I've talked a lot.
I mean, I'm a firm believer that any player can be, you know, quite special in the right setup or in the right moment. And I feel like we've seen that with Al Hamadi at Wimbledon, haven't we? Whether or not that works for the other sort of, I don't want to say failed B team prospects, but the ones who haven't quite hit the heights with us. We'll have to wait and see. I think, unless I've missed anything glaringly obvious, that's all the transfer talk and rumours that we've had in the last few days. I can't think of any more.
No,
Definitely not outgoings, but incomings, I can't think of too many either.
it depends who you ask, because we might have fucking Tarpe coming in, whatever the fuck his name is.
Dave Tarpe and Matt Penny, double
Yes.
sign for the Wickham zone.
Sam
down.
To be fair, Matt, I have to take credit for Matt Penny, because I was the one who suggested him in the first place, and then that's been ran on, because I suggested him in my free signings for each position. Because he's on a free, he's 25 years old, he's on Ipswich. It just seemed about right for Wickham, you know what I mean?
To be fair, anything you tweet, Harrison will take as biblical.
Yes.
I think he pissed the ground.
Sam Smith, Harvey Nibbs.
25k.
Oh,
Let's wait and see if that one comes to fruition.
that seems
I
right.
was feeling it won't.
Plebling knows what he's on about, mate.
Let's move on to the Port Vale preview then. Like I said, I think that's the transfer talk done for this week. Aaron, another team that are in quite poor form actually looking at it. I think it's 1 win in 7 or so. I know for Wickham it's 1 win in 15, but actually it's also 1 defeat in about 8 or 9. So depending on which way you look at it, it's either really quite positive or quite negative. Another chance for Wickham to, you know, go away and start another run.
It is. I think the 1 win is you can't have a positive. You try and spin it 1 win in 15. Shocking in reality. I think it's potentially another game we go and draw. I don't see us losing it, but I guess with recent results and how long it's been between kind of putting a run of wins together, it's maybe not that easy to see us going there and winning it. I think if we settle with back 4, I don't think we lose. I think we've probably got a good chance of winning. But yeah, I think maybe just confidence in fans at the moment of actually seeing a win is not as high as it was. And yeah.
I think, Jaden, looking, you know, within Port Vale, sort of comings and goings this January, they've been hit quite hard, haven't they? Especially with departures. I think Alfie Devine and I want to get his name right, Ollie Arblaster have both gone back to their parent clubs. You know, 2 players who sort of controlled their midfield this season. You know, it's difficult to see from their point of view where the optimism comes from this weekend.
Yeah, 2 huge blows for Port Vale. I mean, I've seen that they've been linked with Dan Gore from Man United on loan, who's quite highly thought of. So as long as they don't get him before tomorrow.
That's a move. Right. Jesus, fair enough.
He's a good signing, isn't
He's a baller. Jesus. He's been training with a Man United senior team, hasn't he?
Yeah, they really highly rate him there at Man United.
Oh my God. That's, please do not, no.
DJ.
Lose the email or something, because he will score against us, I guarantee it.
DJ's scared of Dan Gore now.
I've never heard of him, but DJ seems quite worried about the prospect.
He's been so good, too many of my Football Manager saves. He's
for God's sake.
That means it's a good player then. He's good in Football Manager. He must be wicked in real life.
No, but look at Brighton. They scout using Football Manager. Look at him.
He did.
They made a good signing in Reece Williams as well. To be fair, on loan from Liverpool. That's
I've heard not very good things about him though.
Really?
Apparently, his what was it? He was taking a piss. He thought he was better than the club he was at. I can't remember what club it was.
Okay.
But that's what I've been told by Liverpool fans, so they're not pleased with it at the moment. 2 of my mates are Liverpool fans, and they were saying, "Oh, Reece Williams going to, he was kicked out from his last club. He was taking a piss, thought he was too good, and all this shit." And I was like, interesting, because he's made 9 Premier League appearances, at 21.
I must admit, I thought it was more than that. I thought that year that Van Dijk was injured, I thought he started most of the games.
No, they played like Henderson and Fabinho at centre back a lot of the time, which just
Nat Phillips as
Jordan
well.
Henderson.
oh god, Nat Phillips, what a legend! Oh,
We
what
got
was
a
it?
little bit side
Who did they sign from Preston and like never played him a single time? Ben
Ben
Davis.
Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he went to Rangers, and now he's I don't even know where he is now.
Sheffield
Is
United.
he still at? I feel like he's still at Rangers.
I think he's at Sheffield United.
I thought he'd moved on from there. Yeah.
He is at. He was on loan at Sheffield United. Now he's back at Rangers.
Okay.
Alright.
He's still at Rangers. Good for him. £3 million. Fair enough. They paid a decent bit for him.
We've gone off on an absolute tangent here about nothing to do with Wickham.
Yeah.
Where were we? Port Vale.
Port Vale, yeah, the team we're actually playing against.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously we got to hope that Daniel Gore deal doesn't get done before Saturday. Otherwise, we could be in a little bit of trouble. He's a very good player. But yeah, those two losses are a massive blow for Port Vale. It's a fair chunk of their creativity gone. I don't really know who they've got to replace them with. And obviously at our place a few weeks back, they didn't particularly impress me. They never really looked like scoring other than that, fluke lucky goal they got.
They have Ethan Chislett. I feel like we were in for Ethan Chislett at the start of the...
There were quite strong rumours in the summer, I think.
To be fair, he's got 6 goals and 7 assists in 22, and he's still there.
He is good. He's a good player, Ethan Chislett. He's probably the one we got to look out for. But yeah, I think it is one that we should be winning. Hopefully, we'll go there, at least get a draw. Obviously, we got to hope now that Bloomfield's learnt the error of his ways and won't be switching to a 5-back when we're comfortable 1 or 2-0 up in the 90th minutes. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But I'm feeling fairly confident. 1 win in 15 is god awful, but on the other hand, we're unbeaten in 7, so it's like I
Don't forget, we're unbeaten in 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
New year, new us.
I mean, what's it? 1 win and 4 draws, but it's still unbeaten. Can we survive League One if we just draw every single game in the season, apart from this one?
The magical benchmark, as they say, is about 50 points. So I think by drawing every game, you're just under it. But I think more often than not, you would be okay, theoretically.
So we could just draw every single game.
You'd probably be just about all right, but it'd be close.
I think this year, more than ever, it seems like even the bottom teams aren't that far adrift.
No, let's see.
In recent years, you sort of get 1 or 2 teams who, by this point, are down and out completely. By now, I think Fleetwood are sort of there or thereabouts, but everyone else has got a really quite good chance.
To be fair, even then, Fleetwood are only 8 points off Exeter and 20. If that's not unachievable by any stretch of imagination, if they have a good run of form and Exeter are bad.
It is when Charlie Adams your manager.
Oh, well, true.
Yeah.
Some dodgy manager choices at the moment.
So I can't see how there's an upgrade on Lee Johnson, even if they haven't won in whatever amount it was. I can't see how that's an upgrade.
Yeah, but to be fair, you also have Troy Deeney at Forest Green Rovers.
He's been sacked.
Not anymore, apparently.
Apparently,
Yeah,
he's
no,
gone
yeah,
tonight
that's
or going tonight.
What a twat. It's like he went to the fucking Joy Barton School of How to Manage.
Yeah.
Way to go in your first ever career as a manager. Jesus Christ.
A bizarre way to go about things. Troy Deeney.
Surely you just go, okay, what managers were good with me? Okay, how do I emulate them? Rather than doing whatever the fuck he's done. Because it's bizarre. I don't understand why you just call out your players like that. What do you call them, children and all that?
Yeah, what do you say about Darbo? He was 1 kick from the Premier League and now he's not.
Oh, yeah. That's bad.
And all that. Yeah, fair enough.
It's one of the unwritten laws of management, isn't it? No matter what happens on the pitch, it stays in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't slam your players in public because it's just the fans are going to lose respect for you. The rest of the squad's going to lose respect for you. You don't do it. I don't know who Troy Deeney thinks he is, but no, it wasn't right to go and slam Darbo like he did. And I think it's a deserved sacking.
Like, Dennis those days, both Ainsworth and Bloomfield wanted to go out to the media and be like, yeah, they were fucking shite. But you can't do that.
You got to maintain some sort of professionalism, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
99% of managers other than Troy Deeney managed to do that.
Jerry Barton.
Yeah, he doesn't count anymore.
no, he does not. He's not. I don't think he's ever getting. There was a Athletic article about him today, where there was a football club. They approached a football club director, and they do their managers. So they have like 5 managers every month that they could decide if they sack their current manager. But they also have a bin list, which is we do not approach this manager, and they've renamed that list to Joey Barton list, which just tells you how rated he is now by EFL directors.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know there's a Wickham's list of one of those. I can't think of too many names who have pissed us off.
Steve Evans,
Steve
Evans, Derek Adams. Steve Evans,
Tony
Derek
Adams.
Adams.
Anybody involved with QPR at this point?
Gareth Ainsworth.
It's just the Gareth Ainsworth list, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go back to Gareth Ainsworth now. Like, nah. I wouldn't like Gareth Ainsworth back in.
No, I don't think anyone would. He's done a great job for us, taken us probably as far as he can, and just, every good era has to come to an end. It's like Alex Ferguson at United, Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. Everything has to come to an end.
To be fair, Arsene Wenger had like 1 league win. I don't get why everybody calls it an error. He won the league once. He was invincible once. He didn't win the Champions League. He won like 2 FA Cups. Whereas,
when you put it like that, you've got a point, but no one else has done it since. So it's a bit more than he done an invincible season. Who cares? No one else.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, it wasn't an error. More say than he had 1 exceptional fucking year. I don't think that makes an error. Like a fantastic year, yes. I don't think that makes an error. Like, fair enough. Like Alex Ferguson, he won league after league after league after league. He won 2 Champions Leagues.
So basically, what you're saying is if Bloomfield didn't win the pizza trophy, this wouldn't be a successful era.
I'm not saying that, no, because we've not approached the end of the Bloomfield era yet to know what his peak is.
18th in League One.
That's a bit harsh. That's a very bit harsh, I think.
I love him, really. I love Bloomfield. He'll do all right.
Like, Jose Mourinho was better. He had more of an error than fucking Arsene Wenger, I think.
Yeah, he was better than Bloomfield, to be fair.
What has this become?
This is an unreal tangent, I must say.
DJ,
very
you
good.
just stop.
do you have these whenever I'm not on the podcast?
No, we don't.
No.
I've got to say, it's just you. It's you or Chris normally, yeah.
Sounds about right.
Oh, yeah, Chris.
You start talking about Hanlon's third leg or something.
Oh, God. That was an actual conversation we had last week.
Yeah,
Hanlon's
that's very
third leg that could actually shoot.
I think it comes up most weeks now, actually. Hanlon's third leg.
Somebody's got to rename their Twitter to that.
I was going to say, he's lacking
Erling
a second
Braut
one in a
Hanlon.
minute.
Oh, my God.
What? Why did you look out the window?
There's a train just went past and it was very loud. Scared the shit out of me.
DJ's looking if he can see it from upstairs.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God, is right.
Right, let's start to wrap this up then, because I'm sure we could sit here chatting all night, and as much as I'd love to do that, everyone's got work tomorrow. Where were we? Port Vale away from home. Let's very quickly mention the 5 at the back, 4 at the back mix up. I don't think, DJ, that we've actually got the players now to play at 5 at the back, so we should be safe on that front.
Once we've got rid of Kyo, that was the confirmation that the 5 backs out the fucking window. I think Boys was the first casualty of it, if you want to say it. But with Kyo going, we've got Lowe, Taffer, Chris, Grimmer, Skewer. Oh no, Skewer's gone. He's went to JJ. Yeah, JJ. He can play in the Brighton game, I guess. I think that's proper confirmation now. We don't need as many centre backs, so we're going to we're going to a 4-back. I think it's that 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it, because it looks like both. It's good. It's good. It means Bloomfield's actually figured out we look better than the 4-back, which has taken maybe too long.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know if I talked about it here or somewhere else, I think it might have been a matter of, it's hard to accept that you've made the wrong decision, especially when you're that far into it. You've made an entire team around it. You've brought in players specifically for that formation. It must be very, very difficult to accept the fact that actually I was wrong. So he's now came to that conclusion, which is good. It means we can start building for the actual 4-2-3-1. We've got Kemin, Gideon, Kone. Let's see what else we bring in.
And just very quickly keeping that topic up then, Aaron, I think we're still missing a left back, but definitely the transition again is fully in motion.
Yeah, I think the probably the main target is winner's got to be a left back now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't be, if you're playing for it at the back, you can't be going in with Lee here, who's not a natural left back, and then JJ is your only other option.
Yeah.
I don't know who's out there or who we go for. And obviously, we've spoke a few times on the group chat about loan players potentially. Well, yeah, or DJ's shout. But we'll see what happens with that one, I guess.
Right, let's fire through this then. Last 5 minutes or so. Jaden, talk to us about what you want to see up front. I think sort of the defence and midfield essentially picks itself this weekend, but so many options up front now. It's a selection headache for Bloomfield, but one that I'm sure he'll enjoy. Yeah,
just are we classifying wingers as up front, sort of?
The front four, as you will, the wingers and the two strikers.
Okay, yeah. So I'd like to see us stick with Sadlier on the left. I think he's been fairly decent. Maybe maybe Chem's not ready. Might as well stick with Sadlier for now and then sub him off for Chem if it's not working. Right wing, McClear. See, I don't think GMAC's been fantastic this season or this last couple games. He's been there, done the job. But I'd like to see Gideon get a chance, maybe at right wing. I potentially start him. Obviously, we're under the assumption that no signings are going to be coming in tomorrow, and so I would still go with Vokes and Taylor up front. I think it would be a bit silly to throw Richard Kone in at the deep end, especially with Dale's performance last week. I think he's got the goal. He looks confident, like I've already said. And Vokes is, he looks back at his best. Fully fit Vokes is still one of the best strikers in this league. And they're playing well off each other. So basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think we'll sort of stick with similar to what we had against Lincoln. Just maybe Kadura in for McCleary.
Okay.
The question for you then, DJ. I just said that the midfield picks itself. It doesn't at all because Scowen is still out suspended. I don't think Wheeler has done himself too many favours in recent weeks. He's been good, but I don't think he's certified to get in the team on Saturday. Do you stick with Wheeler or does Phillips get the nod now?
I would like to see Phillips. I've been a bit disappointed that he's not started. My initial gut feeling when I saw Scarron get sent off was, okay, this is 3 games for Phillips. I would like to see Phillips. I think he brings so much in terms of his energy, his tenacity. He's actually pretty good technically as well. I mean, the thing we see about Phillips is he's a golden retriever who will run down the ball like Conor Gallagher. But actually, he's actually surprisingly good at passing and dribbling as well. I would love to see him alongside Potts. I think that's a really interesting duo. Wheeler's been... I think he's been okay. I don't think he's showered us up in any glory. I think he's shown why we kept hold of him, which is he can do the job. He's a solid 7 out of 10. He's not going to set the world on fire, but he's not going to ever become the starter. Which is maybe a bit harsh to him, given the service he's given to us. And he is a good, solid player in every position he plays. And he even played, right back last season?
Yeah.
I would like to see Phillips, though. I am biased there, but I do not care.
And last but not least, and Aaron, that sort of leaves the defence. Do you agree that it picks itself, or can you sense maybe a little switch up?
The only possible one would be Farino starting, wouldn't it? But I think Taft's probably playing the best he's played this season. I don't see us changing from the back four that we kind of have seen over the last couple of games. Now I don't see the centre backs changing, but if it did, that would be the only snub, the only change.
Last but not least, then that leaves score predictions. DJ, we'll let you go first.
Oh, see, I want to have hope and say 2-0, but at the same time, I want to give you sort of bad forfeit, so I'm going to say 1-1.
Give us a goal scorer as well, then.
Goal scorer, Vokes corner, 62nd minute.
Okay. If all that comes in, you get 5 forfeits for us. How's that?
Right, I'm writing that down. Sorry, where's my pen?
Vokes corner,
60
minutes, 1-0. If it all comes in perfectly, 5 forfeits.
There we go, written that down. I will remember that.
Excellent. Aaron, you'll go then.
I'm going to go 2-2, and if I had to go goal scorer, I'm going to go Dale Taylor. I think maybe we're starting to see a little bit of, maybe not the best, but a little bit of form from him, shall we say.
You back us.
What's that?
Yeah. You back us to score more than one goal.
Yeah, but not win, so 2-2.
Oh, God,
and
okay.
Jaden, that leaves you last but not least.
I'm going to be the positive one out of the bunch and go for a 2-1 Wickham win. It'd be a close game, I think, but I could see us doing it. We will concede that one in the 90th minute, I reckon, because Bloomfield are going to a back 5. My goal scorer is going to be Uche Ikpeazu for either team, because we don't know who's going to be playing for on Saturday. So Uche Ikpeazu, he might score for Wickham, he might score for Port Vale, who knows?
I'm going to throw in another Wickham win, as I always do, because the 1 week that comes in, I'm going to get it bang on. 1-0 Wickham win. Let's go for Sam Vokes' goal sometime in the second half. I'm just trying to think if there's any more admin to go through very quickly. A minute's applause for Reading or something or other.
So a minute's applause on the 16th minute if you're heading. I would wholly recommend that. They are our local rivals, but they can't be local rivals if they're fucking dead. You know what I mean? And
the prick in me says, "What's the minute applause going to do?" But it raises awareness. So do get involved in that. Because the cunt of an owner has to go as far away as he can sooner rather than later. Other than that, I think that just about sums it up. Another really enjoyable recording. Thank you very much to DJ, Aaron and Jaden for keeping me company. And yeah, we'll be back on hopefully Sunday, actually, because there's a Tuesday game next week.
There is.
We're away at Wigan. So hopefully we'll find the time on Sunday night. If anyone's making the trip on Saturday, have a safe journey. One of the more local ones, which is always nice. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. We will see you soon and take care. Have a lovely weekend.